Hey guys, so I want to do a whole video about acne. So I've been getting a lot of questions from people just asking, how I've, cleared up my skin in the last few months and what's worked for me. And obviously I want to preface this whole video by saying I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a dermatologist, I'm not really a researcher besides researching the internet for information. And I read a lot. I read a lot of books, listen to a lot of podcasts. And I'm big on just biohacking myself. I mean, if you know my hormone story, I spent a lot of time with hormones. Feel like, knock on wood, they're under control. And then skin was the next project. Unfortunately, I can't figure out the ulcerative colitis stuff, but I don't know. A lot of doctors and researchers can't. But anyways, I've been getting questions about it. And let me give you a little backstory. So growing up, I probably hit age 10. Hit puberty and my skin just freaked out. I pretty much had acne all over my entire face. And I struggled with acne all through high school. I mean, it was awful. I mean, I had it all over my skin, all over my arms. My family just got home. Hey, Quinn. Hi, Tata.
Hi.
But yes, acne everywhere. I went off to college and got on the pill. I mean, the pill was the cool thing to do. You could get it free from health services. And the pill cleared up my skin. I mean, going into college, I got random breakouts here and there, but for the most part, things were great. I mean, had awesome skin being on the pill. Fast forward to, my 30s, I was still on the pill, went off the pill, got pregnant with Quinn. And then after I had Quinn, my skin just freaked out. I didn't want to go back on the pill, but my skin was so bad, I ended up doing the pill game for probably a good year. Like trying this pill, it didn't work for 3 or 4 months, trying the next pill, and my skin was bad. I think it was probably the worst it's ever been. So that's when I started doing the whole, figuring out my hormones thing, trying to get the acne under control, yada, yada. But yeah, I've always kind of struggled with it. And I mean, last spring, my skin got really bad, like huge cysts, like cystic acne on my neck, like big ones on my neck. And elsewhere, but like the ones on my neck, I'm like, what is going on? I mean, that was kind of a stressful time, so it could have been stress related. Things got better, during the summer. I don't know if it's just being out in the sun, being less stressed, but then the fall leading into the holidays, my skin was disgusting. Like I was so embarrassed. I mean, I don't know how closely you followed me on Instagram stories, but I stopped doing any sort of videos, things like that. I mean, any photos, I would totally like Photoshop a zit off my face or something like that. it was so bad, and I just felt like I couldn't control it. Like I started to get acne on my neck, on my arms, on my chest, my back. I'd have random breakouts on my body, but body acne wasn't a thing I really had to deal with. It was mostly on my face. And around this time, if you read my blog, I started talking about celery juice. You may have seen it on here too. And I know it's so crazy. It's so hippy dippy. It's so out there. Anthony Williams is the medical medium. He says he talks to spirits and he cures people's health issues. I know, it's like freaking nuts. So many people, readers, followers, so many people told me about him, and I really just blew it off. I was like, nah, I don't know. It's like the whole plexus, essential oils, like whatever is going to cure my ulcerative colitis. You know what I mean? And I was just like, I don't want to hear it. I'm not into this medical medium stuff. But people just kept telling me about him. So I was like, all right, let's see what he's all about. He has a podcast. I just figured I'd listen to the podcast. It was totally free, had nothing to lose. And some of the stuff he said was just so interesting. And I was just like, I know it's out there, but it kind of makes sense. And then he started talking about strep, acne, and eggs. And I was just like, what? And all those things, I had strep 4 times last year, and I've had it once this year. Like strep just loves me. So strep, acne, and eggs. And every time, I had already been kind of keyed into the egg stuff prior to learning about Anthony Williams and celery juice and all that. But anytime I would have eggs, I would break out. It was like really bad. And I love eggs. I love egg sandwiches. So it was one of those things I didn't want to give up. So I would stop eating eggs. My skin would get like a little bit better. And then I would be like, all right, I'm gonna have some eggs. And my skin would freak out again. So I just didn't learn. So I finally removed eggs from my diet for real. I started the celery juice around the new year, and my skin really got better. I would say probably only like a month maybe month and a half of doing it every day. I was very consistent about it. Spent $300 on a juicer just to make my life easier, and my skin got legitimately better. And if you want to know the science behind it, I feel like such a turd even like talking this way, but supposedly celery juice has these magical celery salts in them that helps break down all the pathogens and bacteria and yuck in your liver, and your liver helps detox all the crap out of your system, including hormones. So really at the end of the day, like, yes, you can go the topical route for acne, but you really need to pay attention to your gut and your liver, and you got to make sure both of those are healthy, because a lot of acne is from the inside out, you know? So that was really interesting. So the celery juice definitely worked for me. I'm still doing it. I mean, I've kind of weaned off, and I definitely feel better when I do it more consistently. I'm probably doing it like 2 or 3 times a week, but if I can stick around the like 3 or 4 times a week, I feel better, and hormonally I feel better too. So that's something to think about, just how the body is detoxing and getting rid of all the extra hormones and all that good stuff. Again, not a doctor, this is coming from a spirit, but I don't know, it worked for me and I very much believe in it. Also going back to the liver stuff, just like taking care of it. If I don't do celery juice in the morning, I'll have just water or lemon with water like first thing in the morning before I have anything, just to kind of like jumpstart that whole like detoxification process and all that. And I know there's people that are like, oh, your body doesn't need to detox extra, yada yada. But I feel like I've always kind of had like liver issues. I'm just thinking back to like my childhood, I jaundice, like there's some other like little things, like little blips in my life where I'm just like, I feel like my liver just wasn't the healthiest. And then now being on Entyvio, my body's always kind of processing something because it's always processing the Entyvio. So just figured the celery juice would just give it a little boost. And then also related, again, this is all personal circumstances. So I was on a girls' trip and we went out on Martha Vineyard, had a whole lot of drinks. And one of my girlfriends was talking about how she needed to take her milk thistle before she went to bed. And we all just thought it was the most hilarious thing because she was having a great time, had a lot of drinks, and we were like, why are you talking about this? Like, you should just be going to bed. You've had way too much to drink. And she was adamant about it. And I had heard of milk thistle, but it's good for the liver. It's good for detoxing. So I've been taking that as well, and I've definitely seen things improve even more. So the combination of those two, and then I do zinc. I have liquid zinc, and I just put a few drops in my water a couple times a week, just when I remember. But that's what I take for supplements. And then as far as, let me go back to the eggs real quick. Sorry. I had notes, but I kind of got off track. So I don't eat eggs anymore. And then the other 2 things that I limit are gluten and dairy. And I'm not even 100% sure if those contribute to the acne. There was definitely a time in my life where I was consuming whey protein like it was my job and my skin was really bad, but I mean, it could have been like a few things. So in recent months, I've started to incorporate more whey protein again. I found this peanut butter whey protein by, what is it, PES? Something like that. Sorry, I don't have it. If you really want to know what it is, I can tell you, but it's really good. So I started using that, and knock on wood, my skin like hasn't freaked out. And then I just avoid gluten just because I know too much about the wheat and the GMOs and glyphosate and all that. So I don't eat too much gluten. Not to say that I never do. I mean, I had a couple bites of a funfetti cupcake last night, so it's not like I never do, but I, for the most part, avoid gluten. So I think those few things have helped as well. And then finally, so I was saying like a lot of this acne stuff is, you know, inside out, and a lot of like what's going on in your system comes out in your skin, especially with what's going on in your gut and your liver. But topically, I can tell you about my acne trifecta, as I call them. So Beauty Counter, and obviously love Beauty Counter, but I really think their products let your skin chill out and do what it's supposed to do. And I have tried every acne product ever. And I've used a lot of harsh stuff, and it would just like rip my skin apart. It would be like oily and dry at the same time. I would have like random like dry spots, things like that. And I think like all those products just forced your skin to do stuff it didn't want to do. And Beauty Counter, I think it just lets your skin relax. And none of their products are harsh. Obviously, all natural ingredients and good stuff that really nourishes your skin. And I don't think it happens overnight. I mean, I've been using their stuff consistently for 2 years now. And in recent times, I really feel like they've stepped up the game with their products, and my skin just finally is like, okay. Thank you for all these good products you're using. So they have a whole counter control line that's for acne or oily skin. I don't use the whole regimen. Supposedly, if you use it together, it's supposed to work really well. And obviously, if you buy the products together, you save money. So that's what I recommend if you do have active acne and oily skin and you want some sort of improvement. If you have any questions, let me know. But the products are designed to work together. So I only do a few. I have other products I use too, but this is like the Acne trifecta. So this is their Counter Control Clear Pore Cleanser. It's part of the regimen. I use this, and then I use their toner pads just after I get out of the shower, or if I wake up in the morning and I'm really lazy, I'll just use a toner pad. Good enough, right? So I use this to wash my face. It's super gentle, but it's got the exfoliating bead, so it gets all the gunk off your face. Then I use the overnight resurfacing peel, which I'm obsessed with. If you haven't tried this yet, oh my God. I always say it like rips off your skin in the best way possible. You put it on, it just gets all the dead junk off your face, and then you wake up in the morning and it's amazing. But I use this at night, and then I use the overnight sleeping cream over it. So I put this on, and then like 15-20 minutes later, I'll put the overnight sleeping cream over it, and it just kind of like locks in the moisture and everything like that. And when I first started using this, it was too much for my skin, so I was only using it maybe like once or twice a week, and now I'm using it every other night. I mean, even multiple nights in a row, because my skin's kind of getting used to it, and I think it just works better and better the more you use it. And then I have the balancing charcoal mask, and I use this, I want to say once a week, but it's probably once every other week, just because I don't think of it, I have stuff going on, yada yada. But this is good for just cleaning out your pores, balancing your skin, all that stuff. But these 3 products together, I think, are fantastic. And then I use the Dew Skin every single day. It's got the SPF in it, tinted moisturizer. That's amazing. And that's pretty much my skincare routine. I use the brow gel, so I have some sort of brows. But that's all I use. And I really think like keeping it simple with your skincare routine is the way to go. Because once you start trying all those different products, it's like, how do you know what's working, what's not working? It's just like too much. And then that's all I got. That's really all I have from just personal experience. I had one little note about antibiotics, but again, I just feel like it's out of my scope of practice and what I do as a blogger. But antibiotics, yeah, make your skin look great. Every time I get strep and go on antibiotics, my skin clears right up. And then, like 2 weeks after I finish them, it all, it'll break out or whatever. But antibiotics destroy your gut. They're not good for the long run. And I just think back to growing up and being on every single antibiotic and every single acne cream, whatever. And I just think all that stuff probably did more harm than good. So just something to think about. Obviously not a doctor. It's definitely all about doing your own research, finding the right doctor for you. Even functional practitioners, dietitians, there's a lot of people that can help with gut, liver, skin issues. So yeah, I don't want to discount anyone or say anything I'm not supposed to say. But again, all of this is personal experience. I've been getting so many questions, and it's hard to just type all of this back in a DM. So I just wanted it all in a single video, but that's what's worked for me. It's been a long journey. I've tried a lot of things, and like I said, knock on wood, it's been like a few months, and this is the best my skin has looked in a long time. I do have makeup on and there's a filter, but I'm telling you, it's like the best it's been in a long time. So I hope that helped. Of course, if you guys have any additional questions or want specifics about any part of this, let me know. And yeah, I hope it helps.